As we draw near to the last quarter of 2022, I want to sit down and discuss features that ESO is in desperate need of. This year hasn't been the best for ESO in regards to player satisfaction and making strides forward as an MMO, as the last update has been pretty poorly received. Going into the last quarter and into 2023, I believe these 10 things should be considered as potential updates or features for The Elder Scrolls Online. Thank you again to my members and my Patreon supporters. I do really appreciate it. If you'd like to become a member, you can get access to our members only Discord. You can get access to vlogs. You can get access to one-on-one sessions and get your name up here in the video and much more. Just check out all those features down below. Okay, the first thing that we're going to talk about that ESO needs in 2023 or just in general is better rewards, and that covers a myriad of things. So that means like better activities to obtain said rewards. That means just better rewards in general, and it just means a more satisfaction given to the player when you do something that should give you a great reward. A great example of this is the Undaunted event that is going on right now. The Undaunted event is the best event in ESO and my favorite thing to do every year in ESO. The reason being is because you actually have to farm dungeons, and there's an incentive to farm dungeons for the very cool looking opal weapon styles or masks or shoulders. This is a great incentive to do these dungeons, and it gets a lot of people participating. This is the kind of stuff that ESO needs in the game regularly, not just in a 2-week event. There needs to be untradeable cosmetics like all these other MMOs have that can not be sold on guild traders, that cannot be bought in the crown store, just things that you can earn from a drop or just doing a crazy achievement that can show to other players, hey, I have this cool untradeable cosmetic and this is how you get it. It really helps build incentive to do the activities. Part with that is the better activities. There needs to be rewarding things that you're doing. So the dungeons could be some of those, the trials could be some of those, but there needs to be some very fun activities that feel satisfying when you complete them, that will allow the player to actually feel like they are getting rewarded for them. So better rewards across the board. It's a very blanket feature, but there needs to be this feature implemented all throughout ESO. The second feature that needs to be in ESO very soon is PvP ranked ladders. Okay, just like Tales of Tribute has a ranked ladder system where you're in different divisions, there's no reason that there shouldn't be this in PvP. It doesn't make any sense. And I know there's been people that said that it's because they don't want to increase toxicity, but the thing is they can't control that. There's no reason to not put a feature like that in a game for PvP when you have it for your card game. This would allow PvPers to really have incentive to get to the top of the leaderboards or top of the ladder, and I really think that this is something that ESO needs to start putting in its game. The third thing that needs to be put in ESO or needs to be updated is the performance. Now, this is something that is ongoing right now. They have made strides to make better performance. There's been better server hardware implemented, so this is something they are working on, and I know that I feel like it just needs to keep happening and it needs to keep moving forward, because until we get better performance, we're not going to get a new class. We're not going to get some of these other features that we would want, because they have to update the infrastructure of their servers. And so better performance is something that I think should be a high priority, because then once we get that, we'll be able to get better things down the line. So they have been working on this, and I do want to reiterate that this is something that is ongoing. I just think it needs to keep being pushed and keep being pushed. So I'm excited to see if they can complete this maybe next year or something to that extent. But speaking of new classes, before we get to the next one, which I want to talk about a feature that you don't need to leave home without, and that is your Ridge wallet. And so a feature or features that you do not need to leave home without is the Ridge wallet and the Ridge wallet key case. Okay, the Ridge wallet is a wallet I've been using for over a year and a half now, and I absolutely love it. It's so durable. It can hold up to 12 cards. It has a cash strap, and it has RFID blocking technology, and the colors and the styles are amazing. I have the Damascus style here, and they have over 30 styles and colors to choose from. The Ridge Wallet key case is a new item I've been using, and I absolutely love this for my keys. I had so much, just junk on my keychain. It was just so clunky. This has consolidated down my keys and made it a lot more compact, and I love it. It just goes up in here like that as well. So definitely check these products out. You will be able to get a discount of 10% with my discount code BRAWRIDGE at the link below in the description and in the comment section. But lastly, before you leave, there's also a 2022 Ford Bronco Velociraptor custom giveaway, or $75,000 that you can win, and that ends September 29th on the Ridge Wallet. And when you spend $1, you get 1 entry. So the amount of dollars you spend, the more entries you get, and you get unlimited entries. You can also just sign up for their email and get 5 extra entries, or their SMS and get 5 extra entries. And I'm telling you what, the Ford Bronco looks spectacular, so you don't want to miss out on this. But I just want to give a huge shout out again for the Ridge Wallet for sponsoring this video. Make sure to check out my discount code and those links below down in the comment section and the description. Now back to the video. So like I said, we're just talking about adding classes. One of the features I think that needs to be added in ESO is the support classes, or a support class. This could be a class like a bard or an engineer. We've talked a lot on my YouTube streams, a lot on videos about how bard and engineer would be so cool in ESO, and I think it would really fit the aesthetic of ESO, especially bard. There's already people that play songs in taverns, and you have a cool little template that you could use from like New World, where they have like a Guitar Hero / system where you can play for people in public and they can give you tips and all that good stuff. But Bard and Engineer is a class I think could be really, really cool in ESO, and it could shape the end game differently, as you could add a support-like style class to the game. So you could run like 2 DPS, a healer or support, and a tank, or maybe 3 DPS, the support / healer / tank. Like, there could be a lot of cool things that are built around this. The Bard could, buff your team. It could do damage. It could heal. The engineer could have like pets like dwarven spiders or dwarven centurions or dwarven spheres. It could have turrets. It could have all kinds of cool things that they implement in these classes. But again, we can't get those classes until they upgrade performance. At least that's what is my understanding. But I have been having a lot of fun playing Bard in Final Fantasy, and I would just love to see them add classes like this to the game, like support classes, like true support classes. And I think it would be fun for the social aspect too, especially a bard, because you could sit there, like I said, and play music in the Overland, and people could listen and watch, and it could really boost the RP side of the game. And by the way, if you haven't caught my YouTube streams, make sure to ring that bell and subscribe. It really lets you know when I go live. I stream 1 to 2 days a week. Definitely come by and check out the streams. They're really fun, and we have VODs that you can rewind as well. The next feature that ESO needs is guild halls or world guild events. This is something I talked about in a recent video, where I believe that the guild support is lacking in ESO. We have all these guilds, we have all these guild traders, but we have no official guild halls. We have no guild events that give like guilds rewards. So like, every week there could be like the guild that collects the most resources or builds the most items for like an order form, the guild that does a world boss the quickest, a guild that does a dungeon the quickest, all this other stuff. Like, there could be guild events that could give cool guild rewards and guild incentives, and that could help incentivize people to socialize in this game. I think that's something that really is needed in this time, in this age that we live in, and I would love to see them add guild support soon in ESO. The next feature that could be added, and I think this is a feature that is a quality of life feature that a lot of people would really, really like, and that is account-wide mount upgrades. I know a lot of people that have come into this game that are newer, and they absolutely hate how you have to upgrade your mount speed, mount, carrying capacity, stamina on every single character. And I know why they do it. It's to make money, but I really think they should just do it across the account. It's so annoying when you get on your mount and you ride like slower than someone's running. It's so infuriating, and it makes you want to not play the game. I think this would be a great thing to add as a quality of life feature for a lot of players. Another thing that would really help with the kind of the rocky area that ESO is in right now, that needs to just be an ongoing thing that they do, sort of like performance, is they need to start having consistent class and combat updates. They need to stop with these 3-month changes, in my opinion. I really think that there needs to be like incremental patches maybe every 3 months. They might need to restructure their like product release schedule. I know we've thrown out a lot of ideas here in the channel. I know I like to some extent how they have a lot of content each year, with there being 2 dungeon DLCs, a main expansion, and like a mini expansion. But to be completely honest with you all, over the last 2 years, the quality of the updates, in my opinion, have not been up to par over the last 2 years for this game. And I think that they really need to consider stop updating the game, or stop putting new things in the game every single 3 months, every single year. And I think they really need to take a step back and work on the core systems of the game, so that way they can stop having all these, oh, we're going to change combat this patch, oh, we're changing it back this patch, oh, we're changing this class this patch. Because we all know that unless something drastically changes, we're pretty sure that the next patch is going to revert or just change what they just did in this patch back to how it was before that. People are tired of the change fatigue. And I think if they spent more time developing systems that are already in the game, or base game systems that need to be updated, I think it would be nice. But the problem is that a lot of these companies don't want to do that, because they have to create something new every year to have, you know, people come back to the game. But I just think ESO really needs to consider this. The next feature that I think ESO needs is player-owned shops. I think this would be really, really cool. This is something that reminds me of like RuneScape, where you could just sell and trade in banks. I think this would also increase social interaction with players. It'd be really awesome to just be walking, you know, in High Isle, and then on the side of the road you have a person that set up a shop and you can buy stuff from them. I just think that's really cool. I just think it'd be really interesting. I don't know how they would do that. That's something later on down the road, but I do think that would be really cool. The next feature that the game needs is an Overland Plus mode, or Overland Zone vendors. I did a video on this recently, so I'll have it in the description or at the end of the video. There's a lot of people that complain about the Overland being too easy, and it's true. It is. It's way too easy for the common person, I think, that plays this game. And it would be nice if there would be a harder difficulty for Overland Plus. So, in my opinion, I think they could add an Overland Plus mode, and then the incentive to doing Overland Plus mode there'd be Overland Zone vendors in each zone that have tokens. And every time you do bosses, or you do quests, or you do just something in that zone, you get tokens, and those tokens could be spent for cosmetics that are themed for that zone at that vendor. I think this would bring a lot of incentive for people to keep playing in the Overland, and to make the Overland more popular or more populated in some areas. Definitely check out my video about it though, because I do really think it would be fun for ESO to have this. And the last feature, this is kind of a meme, but it's also a feature that I would love to see in ESO, and I've been talking about it for years, is capes.
No capes!
Or back equipment. I know that the reason they don't have this in the game is because of performance, and they can't do it with like the movement of the capes. But if we do get better performance, there could be a chance they could put capes in the game. This is something in the game that I would love to see, because I think there's a lot of different things that they could do with this. They could add a one-piece, you know, item set with these backpacks or capes. You could look really cool. It could add really cool fashion to the game. They could add achievement capes. They could add all these different rewards with capes or backpacks, and I think it would be something that the game really could use and really could benefit from. But I know that they are limited when it comes to the performance side of that, so I know that that's very unlikely. But I'd like to see what you guys think about this list. Let me know down in the comment section what you would love to see in ESO in the next year, and if you like any of my ideas below as well. And again, check out my videos up here in the top. They're about some things that we talked about in the video today that are a little bit more in depth. Thanks again to my members, my Patreon members as well. And thank you to everyone. Just remember to have faith, be great, and I'll see you on a video game somewhere. Later.